Do all people with Parkinson's disease get dementia? What's the difference between Parkinson's disease and Parkinson's disease dementia? Today's video, this is what we're going to talk about. I'm also going to clarify some confusing terms. And if you're new here or you're not new here, this is not my normal recording space. I'm in an unusual kind of warehouse situation to make sure I get a video out to you as promised every single week. We've got some construction happening at my home and it's really loud and it's not a great place to record right now. So thank you for your patience and sticking with me as I am in a strange location. All right, let's dive in today's video. Okay, so first let's clarify three terms that are often used when we're talking about Parkinson's disease. Let's talk about what Parkinson's disease is, what Parkinson's disease dementia is, and what Parkinsonism is. So first, Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurological disorder that primarily affects somebody's movement. It causes symptoms like tremors, rigidity, even balance problems. Now, Parkinson's disease dementia impacts a person's thinking, and this usually happens and comes on years after somebody has already been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. So somebody has the movement problems, and then years later, they start to develop the changes in their thinking. We'll talk more in a minute about what specific thinking changes they usually experience. Parkinsonism is a general term to refer to some movement issues, but it's not progressive like Parkinson's disease. So somebody might show some tremors or some rigidity, but it's not the progressive nature of Parkinson's disease, and it doesn't respond in the same way to Parkinson's disease medications. Okay, so let's talk about Parkinson's disease and Parkinson's disease dementia. While Parkinson's disease primarily impacts movement, Parkinson's disease dementia primarily impacts cognition, the thinking. As previously mentioned, Parkinson's disease dementia typically happens at least a year after the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, but oftentimes it's 10, it could be 5-10 years after that initial Parkinson's disease diagnosis that they start to develop the dementia. And it's important to know that not everybody with Parkinson's disease will go on to develop Parkinson's disease dementia, although many do. Approximately 80% of people who develop Parkinson's disease will go on to develop Parkinson's disease dementia. Okay, now here's a little diagnostic maybe secret. So if somebody starts to develop thinking problems within the first year of their motor problems, that's leaning more to Lewy body dementia than to Parkinson's disease dementia. Also, it is possible that somebody with Parkinson's disease and Parkinson's disease dementia, that they could develop another type of dementia also on top of that. So if somebody does have Parkinson's disease dementia, what are their typical symptoms and how would it differ from the most popular or most common type of dementia like Alzheimer's disease? Well, for starters, symptoms of Parkinson's disease dementia would include memory loss, confusion, mood changes, particularly depression and apathy, where they don't really just seem interested in much of anything at all, trouble interpreting visual information, difficulty with problem solving, decision making, sleep problems, changes in attention and concentration. Now, a lot of those symptoms, quite frankly, are very similar to other dementias. So how is it really different from Alzheimer's disease? A lot of times people with Parkinson's disease dementia keep their personality and sense of humor long in the disease process. Language problems tend to happen later in the disease process as well for Parkinson's disease dementia, whereas with Alzheimer's disease, you'll start to notice language problems earlier. With Parkinson's disease dementia as well, you might notice less of a severe impact in their daily activities. And as we've already mentioned, the symptoms, the thinking problems that they do have tend to happen years after they've already developed motor problems. Now, if your loved one has Parkinson's disease dementia, what can you do? Obviously, continue to work with their medical providers because there are very specific medications for Parkinson's disease that will need to be prescribed and adjusted based on their symptoms and their response. But in terms of a lot of the dementia-related symptoms, the behaviors, the attention problems, the difficulty in daily life, any of our videos here on this channel and any of the approaches you would use for other types of dementia can most certainly be used for Parkinson's disease dementia as well. Now, next week, I'll talk more about Lewy body dementia and Parkinson's disease dementia because they are very similar. But again, there are subtleties in the diagnosis, and it has a lot to do around the timing. If you have any follow-up questions or specific questions about this topic, Parkinson's disease dementia, Lewy body dementia, you can leave them below in a comment to this video. We do look over all the comments, and this is how we generate future video topics. This video topic is a direct result over the comments and questions that Careblazers like yourself have left under previous videos. All right, Careblazer, I'll be back next week with a new video. If you'd like to work with me further and like to get involved with a group of amazing Careblazers that come together every week to offer support and answers and information and so much more, join our Care Collective program. There's a link below you can click on to learn more. All right, bye.
Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.